This is section 6.2. It starts on the bottom of page 4. 6.2 is real applications of the normal distribution. I want you guys to realize there's no notes, it just jumps right into examples, and that's because it relies on all the information that we just learned in section 6.1, but now they're all word problems and application problems. So the first thing on here, the example says the reading speeds of 6th grade students is approximately normal with the mean speed. So the mean speed of 125 words per minute and a standard deviation of 24 words per minute. What is the probability that a randomly selected 6th grade student reads less than 100 words per minute? So our key thing in here says less than 100 words. So I'm asking you guys in this problem to find the probability that a student, which we'll call X, reads less than 100 words per minute. So sketch a bell-shaped curve, and we need to put the mean in the middle. The mean this time is not 0, it's not a standard normal. It tells us that the mean is 125. And then it says we're trying to figure out when X is less than 100, and 100 is to the left of this. And less than means we're shading to the left. So go ahead and shade that little area over there to the left. And that's what we're asking to find. That area represents the probability that a student reads less than 100 words per minute. So in order to do this, we need to use normal CDF. And normal CDF starts off with your lower bound and from 6.1. Since this graph goes on forever to the left, and you read a graph just like how you read a book from left to right, we're going to type in -1 E 99. And remember that E was right above the comma. And then the graph, the largest value that we have where it's shaded is 100, comma, the mean, which is 125, comma, the standard deviation, which was 24. And then if you go ahead and put all that in on your calculator, we're going to get a probability, and again, we round all of our probability answers to 4 decimal places, of 0.1488. So there's a part B to this. It says, what is the probability that a randomly selected 6th grade student reads more than 140 words per minute? So again, the mean is 125 words per minute. Put that in the middle. And more than 140. So 140 would be to the right of 125. And more than means we're going to be shading to the right. So shade that area to the right. And so we're going to find the probability that X, or 6th grade student, reads more than, so greater than, 140 words per minute. And we are going to use normal CDF. And it starts off with your lower bound. This time the graph starts at 140 where it's shaded. And it goes on forever to the right, which is 1E 99. Which again, you're using the e's that are exponential, that is right above the comma. Comma the mean, which is 125. Comma the standard deviation, which is 24. Close your parentheses. Round your probabilities 4 decimal places, and you should get 0.2660. Part C says, what is the probability that a randomly selected 6th grader reads between 110 and 130 words per minute? And so with this one, I'm going to go ahead and put my mean, which is 125, in the middle. And I need to put in 110 for my lower bound here. And then 130 for my upper bound. And it says between these two values. So I'm going to go ahead and shade between those two values. So we're asking to find the probability of a sixth grader reading between 110 words per minute and 130 words per minute. So normal CDF our lower bound is 110. Our upper bound is 130, comma, the mean, which is still 125, standard deviation, which is still 24. Hit enter after having all that typed in. Round your probabilities 4 decimal places, you get 0.3165. Part D says, would it be significantly high for a sixth grade student to read more than 200 words per minute? So there's a few different ways to do this. We can do two different things in order to get this, so I'll do one of them with you. First thing is that we are still doing with these students. Average reading speed, or the mean, is 125. Goes in the middle. It wants to know if reading more than 200 words, and 200 words would be way out here on the right. So I'm going to shade more than, which means to the right. And I'm going to ask you guys to find the probability that they read more than 200 words per minute. So this would be normal CDF. The lower bound, which is 200, comma, the upper bound, which is going to be 1E99, comma, the mean, which is 125, comma, the standard deviation, which is 24. Selecting enter here, we get, you'll notice in your answer you might have an E in there. Make sure you realize that that means 8.89 times 10 to the negative fourth. And it asks for, is this significantly high? This is a yes. It does say why, so let's talk about that. The probability of it being, of them reading more than 200 words per minute is really small. The chance of a sixth grade student reading more than 200 words per minute is, if this was round, if you move that decimal place over, it's practically rounds almost to 0. And the chance of it happening is really, really small. And so yes, this is significant because it doesn't hit that 5% cutoff. So yes, because, and I'll let you guys write it down for yourself, I'm out of room. But yes, because the probability is less than 0.05.